Because of some breaking news that we are getting on the broadcast, and we in fact are learning that U.S. President Joe Biden in fact is in Ukraine currently, and this has been confirmed by a Ukrainian MP. We will get our colleagues on ground to get us more perspective on the same. In fact, Zakka Jacob is with us on the broadcast. Zakka, how does one read this? Is a big development that's coming in from Ukraine. The entire attendance of Joe Biden there.
Oh, it's a huge story. The fact that Joe Biden, the U.S. President, is today in Kyiv. He's meeting with President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine, as well as other senior officials. These are the first pictures that we have of him in downtown Kyiv, in central Kyiv. Remember, for the last hour or so in Kyiv, air raid sirens have been going off. That is to indicate that there is a VVIP movement. There are videos doing the rounds of social media as well of his cavalcade passing by downtown Kyiv. We can now confirm Leslia Velenko, who is a senior Ukrainian member of parliament, has confirmed that U.S. President Joe Biden has landed in Kyiv. Remember, he's en route to Poland. He's supposed to go to Warsaw tomorrow. So this is en route to Poland. You can see the first pictures of U.S. President Joe Biden just as we approach the first anniversary of this war. This war was launched on the 24th of February. It's going to be exactly a year by the end of this week. So on the week when Ukrainians will be looking back at this torrid year that it has been for them and for their country, Joe Biden, arguably the world's most powerful man, the world's most powerful politician, landing up in Kyiv, expressing solidarity with the Ukrainian people, expressing solidarity with Vladimir Zelensky's government. Remember, he has led a rather valiant effort to take on a much stronger, much bigger army of Russia and a much bigger leader in Vladimir Putin. So this is a huge message of support from the American president to his Ukrainian counterpart, and also to the Ukrainian people, that America is standing firmly and solidly behind this war effort. This is, of course, as far as Ukraine is concerned, an attempt to try, this is an existential crisis. I mean, if they lose this war, they lose their country. And as the country marks 1 year of this brutal war after having been launched as a special military operation by Vladimir Putin, it is now confirmed, and you can see these pictures of President Joe Biden of the United States walking down central Kyiv. He's meeting with President Zelensky and other senior members of the Ukrainian government. He will be subsequently going to Warsaw tomorrow, but we're expecting a briefing by senior government officials of Ukraine any moment now. In the run-up to this touchdown, as it were, of course, this was a highly secretive visit. It was kept under wraps for a number of days in the run-up to this visit. And even this morning, you know, it is not like information was trickling in either from the U.S. White House administration or from media reports in the U.S. about the possibility of Biden, touching down in Kyiv. But now you can see those live pictures of U.S. President Joe Biden in Kyiv, meeting with Zelensky as well as other senior leaders of the Ukrainian government. He's going to spend a few hours there and then make his way towards Warsaw to Poland, where he's expected to give a major speech tomorrow on this 1 year war effort. So clearly, this is a big moment. Symbolically, maybe not materially, but definitely symbolically, the fact that the U.S. president is in Kyiv. We've had, the UK Prime Minister, when Boris Johnson was the UK Prime Minister, he had gone to Kyiv. We've seen other leaders. The former Israeli Prime Minister had gone to Kyiv. But we haven't seen the American president go to Kyiv since this war began. So I think it's a significant moment, this. Definitely high on optics, high on solidarity, the photographs, the symbolism. That'll be huge. But what may this translate into in terms of material support for Ukraine, I think that is something that we'll have to wait and watch out for.
Absolutely. And Zakka, like you rightly said, this is one of the very important, in fact, decisive moments in Joe Biden's presidency. And of course, all eyes will be on that very speech, or the kind of messaging that he sends out to Russia through that speech in Warsaw.
Absolutely. So that was there. You can see the still. You can see both Zelensky and Biden. Biden to the right and Zelensky to his left. They are walking downtown Kyiv, is what we've been told. This is a hugely symbolic moment, no doubt about it. Like I said, since this war began, the U.S. president has not touched down in Kyiv. He has now. And the fact that this entire visit was supposed to be to Poland tomorrow. He was supposed to make a big speech there in Poland, but en route to Poland, en route to Warsaw, he's now landed in Kyiv, and it's a significant, photographic sort of memory, if you will, or a turn in the road as far as this war is concerned, because it's signaling unequivocal support. I think these images will be on the front pages of all newspapers, from the New York Times to Washington Post. All websites across the world are going to be carrying this. Television channels like CNN News 18 are reporting this. I think it's hugely powerful on symbolism. Materially, will he make any new announcement of further military aid? Remember, the U.S. is committed to the Abrams tanks. That announcement was made just a few weeks ago. The U.S. alone has contributed close to $50 billion in military and non-military aid to Ukraine since this war began. The Europeans have contributed a substantial number as well. So I think this is going to be, again, read in Western capitals, certainly as a message of solidarity. That's how it's going to be perceived in Kyiv as well. But in Moscow, I think Putin is going to be watching this very, very closely as this war grinds into some kind of a stalemate, and people are expecting a spring offensive by Russia. They're expecting an air assault and possibly further ground assaults as well, particularly in eastern Ukraine, where in places like Bakhmut, it seems like the crisis, that this war has ground down into a stalemate. So I think at a time such as this, for Joe Biden to land up in Kyiv, be seen side by side with Zelensky, walk down, some of the main streets there, is conveying an absolutely unequivocal message of support and solidarity with Ukraine. And I think this is a significant moment. It's really high on symbolism, and this photograph, like I said,